I know there's nobody there yet, but I won't start talking till a couple of people show up. And who knows, this is the 4th of July, so maybe nobody will. Who knows? But I'm in the knife shop. I'm gonna do a little work in here. Two people there. Okay, there's 3 people there. I don't see any comments, so they may not be my subscribers. I don't know. You're far away, and if I move you close enough to read comments, you won't be able to see the knife. So happy 4th of July, everybody. I have had one little setback after another, starting with years ago. I bought some Bitcoin. 2014 is when I bought it, and I lost the key, the password, and it's this huge, massive, long key to get into my Bitcoin. So I just forgot about it over the years. There was just no hope I was gonna find it. And just out of curiosity, I downloaded my a Coinbase app. And wouldn't you know it, Coinbase had my key to get into my Bitcoin vault. So I just sold what I had today and transferred it to my checking account, which is going to buy me some parts for my generator. And that's another thing, my generator. I ordered that thing quite a while ago, and I watched it start in somewhere in Ohio, and then moved to Memphis, and then from Memphis it went to Texarkana, and then from Texarkana, instead of coming down to Longview or Shreveport, it went to Dallas. And last Wednesday, I got a message from them saying that I'd be able to pick it up on Thursday. Didn't happen. Then I got a message saying I wouldn't be able to pick it up. I've already paid for this generator now, almost $1,100. I wouldn't be able to pick it up till the 12th or 13th. It's just mind-boggling. And now I'm going to sit here and worry. I know how things get handled on loading docks. So this thing was loaded in Ohio, unloaded in Memphis, and reloaded to a truck going to Texarkana, unloaded, reloaded, going to a truck in Dallas, unloaded, reloaded, delivered to Longview, where it goes to their terminal in Longview, and then unloaded and loaded to bring to Shreveport. So this thing has been handled 6-8 times by forklift drivers who do not care how your stuff arrives. They're in a hurry, and they don't have time to be kind to your freight. So I'm just dreading when I get this generator. It's going to be beat to hell. And if I pick it up at Home Depot and the box looks like it's been through combat, I'm going to open it right there in their parking lot. And I'm not going anywhere until I determine that it's acceptable. I got a comment here. Kirby Pooh Bear. It went by too fast. Doggone it. I don't know why hold on one second. Yeah, I didn't see, I wasn't able to read the comment, Kirby Pooh Bear. It just appears and then disappears when I have the camera on, what do you call this? Portrait? Not portrait, the opposite of portrait, landscape. If I tip the phone up and it's on portrait mode, then I can see the comments, but otherwise they appear on the screen and they disappear and I don't have time to read them. So there's the generator debacle. In the meantime, my solar panel, my batteries, my batteries that are charged by my solar panel have gone completely dead. There we are. Hey, 30 minutes ago, Texan Knives billet review. Oh yeah. Huh. Well, welcome. I don't do live streams very often, so I just happen to, today's a weird day, and I just felt like coming out here to the knife shop and forgetting my troubles for a little while. So I actually haven't been out here in weeks and weeks because I've been doing other stuff in my yard trying to get ready for the apocalypse. So anyway, I thought my solar panel had gone bad because it wasn't charging my batteries. So I ordered a solar panel and I brought my batteries down here to my shop and I put my battery charger on them to charge them up. I got one of them charged and I brought it back up there and I hooked it up. I also bought a new charge controller, which, you know, 20, 30 bucks. And I get my battery hooked up, and turns out I do have power coming from my old solar panel. What happened was the bad battery burned out my old charge controller. So now I have a solar panel that works. I have one on the way. I should have it Wednesday is what they say. And I'm probably going to end up sending that back because I only need one. A sports fan? No, sir, not a bit. Not a bit. I couldn't tell you baseball from a football. That's how little I care about sports. If I have time to sit and watch somebody else do something, I got time to be doing stuff myself, you know what I mean? I'm a doer, not a watcher. Now, when I was a kid, I played sports, but I have no desire to watch it on TV or get excited when a team wins something. So anyway, turns out my brand new charge controller is broken. I'm going to send it back. My solar panel that I thought was broken is not broken. I had two $100 batteries. One of them has got a dead short in it. The other one's good. And holy crap, it's just been one disappointment after another. And I am not going to deal with any of that today. Happy 4th over there in Shreveport, I believe. Shreveport or Bossier. So I'm just going to chill out here in the knife shop. I got two dogs in here. One of them's got to need a bath because he rolled in something. I have no idea. We have a lot of fox around here. And for some reason, I have one dog that just loves to roll in the fox poop, which happens to be the most foul smell on the planet. So he'll need a bath before we go in. And I've decided that I'm not going to be taking orders for knives anymore. I'm just going to make them and then offer them for sale. Because the pressure, it's not a lot of pressure, but it's a little bit of pressure. And I just don't like pressure on my knives, you know what I mean? I used to own my own company, and there was pressure every minute of every day to make money. And I got used to it, and I dealt with it. But since I've retired, and I've had a few things happen to me that have really taken its toll on my health and my body and my ability to endure stress, and I just can't take stress anymore. So I had to eliminate it in all the areas that I possibly can. And not taking orders and feeling the stress that I have to make knives because, you know, somebody's waiting on them. I don't want to have to do that anymore. So I'm just going to make knives, and as I get one made, offer it for sale. And maybe I'll enjoy coming out here again without that kind of stress on me. And make sure you're plugged in because this screen sure went dark. I hope so. All right, I'm moving up to the next grade of sandpaper. So this is a BC special. And I have plans for this generator. Here we go. I got two. Speaking of your health, did you ever used to? Yeah, many years ago, long time ago. Yeah, I smoked 3 packs a day up until about 31 or 32 years ago, and I quit cold turkey. I quit drinking. I quit doing drugs, and I quit smoking cigarettes about 31, 32 years ago. And I used to be very, very skinny. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about the drug I used to do, but I hadn't touched any drugs in 31 years. Or alcohol, or cigarettes. I quit everything at the same time. So if you're leaving a comment, it appears for like a second and a half or 2 seconds and disappears. There we go. Was it hard to quit? Not really, man. I became a Christian at the same time, and I had a strength and determination in me that I had never felt before I found Christ. So I give all the glory to God. He helped me get out of that life, and it was painless for the most part. I don't make big speeches about being a Christian. Amen. But I am a Christian, and I don't deny or avoid talking about it. But that's not what my channel is about. But I'm telling you, I would still be a drinking, drugging, smoking loser if it wasn't for Christ. Hey, amen. Okay. Normally when I do a live stream, I have my iPad set up where I can see the comments, but this is sort of impromptu. I just decided to, I was out there messing with my bad battery and being a little mad about a brand new charge controller not working right from the factory. Why didn't I read the reviews? I read the reviews after the fact, just minutes ago, and all the reviews said the same thing. Didn't work. Got it, didn't work. Not the first, not even a day. Didn't even work a day. So, I should have read the reviews first. Dummy. That's what the reviews are there for. To save people from buying junk. So I should have my new solar panel Wednesday, which will come. I didn't see that comment. I looked up too late. I should have my new solar panel Wednesday, and it will come with a charge controller. So I'm probably just going to keep the solar panel. It wasn't that expensive. And I've had this new charge controller beyond 30 days. I'm just now getting around to hooking it up. so I'm probably not going to be able to get my money back for it. Live and learn. Sometimes you just got to eat your mistakes. Okay, I'm going to look at the phone for a minute. If you have a comment, go ahead and hit it now. Hello. Hey, Swede. Wie geht's und was ist los? Ich liebe Deutschland. Oh, you're a Swede, so I don't speak Swedish. I've had Swedish meatballs, though. And whenever I hear Swedish, hello from Wisconsin. Whenever I hear Swedes speak, it always reminds me of German, and in my brain, I feel like I'm this far from understanding it because there are words that are very similar to German. But I would imagine it's like Mexican Spanish and Spain Spanish is very similar, but they probably have a difficult time understanding each other. But when I was in Europe, when I was out of this country, pretty much everybody spoke 2 or more languages. And I really tried hard learning Spanish. I learned to speak German fairly well. Did he announce he was running again? I don't know. I do not know. I do not know. Uh-oh, fixing to knock this over. I would vote for Trump again in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Yep. Man, YouTube has been removing channels left and right. I was subscribed to a guy named Doug TenNapel. And all he talked about was the Arizona recount. His whole channel, that's all he talked about. And apparently YouTube didn't like him talking about the recount because they kicked him off of YouTube. So I'm very, very careful about what I say because I don't want to lose my channel. Kenosha. I used to deliver to Kenosha. I think I told you that before. Yep, I used to deliver to, God, I can't think of the name of the company. It was, boy, I can't remember the name of the company. Cold, my God, it gets cold up there. Matter of fact, many years ago, I had a dog that went with me. All my dogs went with me in the truck. But I had a really old dog, and I mostly ran just the desert, the south, you know, LA, Florida. I never got in snow or ice or cold or anything like that because I hate cold. And one time I took a load up to Kenosha, my first load, and it was the middle of winter, and snow was butt deep. I mean, and I let my dog out, and my dog freaked out. He would not go out. I had to get a shovel out and shovel down to the grass so he could see that there was grass under there, or else he wouldn't go to the bathroom. Yep, he hated snow, and I did too. Yeah, I'm still voting for Trump. I don't think Trump will be drooling on himself and like the present person we got there. Or, you know, it could be DeSantis. I mean, there's a lot of other possible options. I'm not going to automatically vote for Trump. I mean, if DeSantis was running for president, I think I'd vote for DeSantis because he's a constitutionalist. Dan Crenshaw, I like him too, yeah. Yep. But if Trump was the only option, I'd vote for Trump over any Democrat any day, even if he was 108. My own sister is a Democrat. She voted for Biden and then bragged about it. I can't even hardly bring myself to talk to her. It's just that mind-boggling that anybody could look at him, know that he was in politics for 50 years. 50 years Biden was in politics. What good did he do? None. He brought no good bills forth. He became a multimillionaire. Hey, Mary, Darren. What knife did you get, Frank? I can't remember what knife you got. Takes about 90 seconds for a comment to, between the time you type it and the time I see it, it takes about a minute or two. All right, I'm gonna sand until I see a comment. I may miss it. Oh, dinner Skinner, okay. Here's something, here's another thing I've just discovered. Okay, you remember the 3 knives that I made for my subscriber giveaway when I hit 60,000, which by the way, I'm like 280 subscribers away, so I figure a month and a half and I'll be at 60,000. Well, anyway, those 3 knives that I made, oh yeah, you got a dinner Skinner too. I've had them in my house now for a couple of months since I made them, and you know what? The pins are starting to stick out of the wood now. And it dawned on me, all my wood, all this back here, that is all my handle wood. Out here, not air conditioned, in the humidity. So what has happened, when my knives stay inside a controlled atmosphere, like an air conditioned home, the wood shrinks a little bit and the pins seem to stick out. So now what I'm going to do, all these knives I sold, I made from wood that was out here in the shop, and obviously they went to someone whose home was air conditioned, or to a state with much lower humidity, and over time I'm sure the pins have, it's not that the pins have stuck out, it's that the wood has shrunk a tiny bit, you know, maybe a 64th of an inch. But it's enough to feel it when you rub your finger across the wood and you feel a pin. So now I'm thinking I'm going to have to bring all my wood to the house and keep it dehumidified, and then you know, run out here and make my handle, and then as soon as I get them made, put them back in the house to make sure that my pins are sanded down low enough. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't afford to run my AC out here all the time just to keep the humidity out of here. I just, you know, it's already cost me a lot of money to make knives, and I can't add any more expense to it. Yours is fine? Well, that's good. Well, it might have been stabilized wood. I have a lot of wood that's not stabilized that does absorb moisture over time, or release moisture over time, depending on, you know, where it's at. So if it was stabilized wood, then I suspect that would be just fine. And that's another thing, stabilized wood is anywhere from 30 to 60 bucks a handle. So that's a lot of money. Hey there, Major, okay, hey Major Payne. Yeah, I'll have to deal with that. I'm going to think about what I'm going to do about that. So I'm just realized this. I don't know what. I'm going to probably order. Okay, you remember the plastic shed that I have outside my gate that I get mail in? It's about 3 foot by 5 foot by 2.5 or so. It's about, you know, I guess it would be about belly high, the roof. and about 5 foot long and about 3 foot deep. Well, that's what I'm gonna put my generator in. I'm gonna make it a quiet shed. I'm gonna put vents in it. I already have this louvered industrial fan that's just for that kind of stuff, quick ventilation. So I'm gonna ventilate the shed and probably run the exhaust outside the shed, the little plastic shed. I'm gonna have to be careful that it doesn't get too hot, but that, as soon as I get my generator, that's the next thing I gotta buy, is that plastic shed. The one I want is made by a company called Suncast. And if you'll Google Suncast generator shed, there's dozens of videos of people that have made that particular brand of shed into a generator shed. And they're American made, and I like American made products, and I always try to support American made products. So I have one in my Amazon cart, but I'm also cheap. And I sent an email to the marketing department of Suncast, and I told them that what my plans were, and that I told them I kind of talked up my channel a little bit. I told them I had 60,000 subscribers and over 30 million views, and I'd have a generator video that has like 2.5 million views. And I suspect if I do a quiet generator shed that it would probably, that it would probably garner the same level of views over that length of time, because there's a lot of interest in that right now. And basically I asked for a free shed in exchange for me to mention the brand and the fact that it was American made, and put a link right to their company. And that was Friday I sent that email, so I don't expect an answer Tuesday or Wednesday, or no answer, who knows. So I told myself, if they don't answer by Wednesday, I'm just going to go ahead and buy one. It's almost 400 bucks, but by the time I pour concrete and then buy the wood and then build it in a fashion, here's the thing, the generator, you have to fuel it from the top. So you have to either pull the generator out, which it's 250 or 60 pounds, and I'm an old guy, that kind of weight's real heavy now. So once I get it in this shed, it's going to have to stay there. So I had to build the shed in such a fashion that I could like raise the roof and then pour the gas in from the top. So I've either got to build that or buy something like that. And that shed, the plastic shed, has a roof that lifts up and then doors that fold open, so it's 100% access to it. And if I don't get that shed, if I add up all the wood I'd have to buy, it's going to be probably a multi-video, Major Payne, multi-part video. Hey, Lee Weaver. Yeah, I'm going to tinker a little bit here. And this is a BC special. I've got some handles. This is Bird's Eye Maple. Hello, New Jersey, common man. Bird's Eye Maple with African ebony liners, and that's what I intend to use for the handles. I've done a lot of work in New Jersey. I used to pick up down in Swedesboro. I think that's exit 7, I believe. At Del Monte factory down there. Del Monte peas and vegetables. And here's what a small world it is. There used to be a guy that worked on the Del Monte farm in New Jersey at exit 7. And he was in charge of like watering and that stuff. And years later, I was delivering here in Louisiana. Egg crate foam, yeah. Yeah, I will download a Decibel app. I'll run it where I want it to sit. I'll run it with nothing, just the generator. And then I'll run it inside the shed and show the difference on the generator, on the Decibel app. Well, anyway, that guy that was working at Del Monte, hey, Jordan. Happy Independence Day. You know, there's a lot of people that don't know what we are independent from, and they just think it's Happy Firecracker Day. I think if more people knew our history, they might be more appreciative of living in this country. So anyway, the guy that was working in New Jersey on that farm, I knew his name, because I would load and talk to him. Years later, I started delivering to a chemical factory in Shreveport, Louisiana. And who do I recognize? This guy that used to work at the farm in New Jersey is now working at a chemical plant in Louisiana. Small world. And it happened to me so many times, man. I would see somebody in Seattle at a truck stop and, chat with them. I mean, in those days, everybody was friendly. I've been looking at picking up a new rainbow maker, yeah. I don't know about Springfield. I haven't heard about the controversy. Well, I was at a truck stop in Seattle, drinking coffee and chatting with somebody. And then like 2 weeks later, I'm in Maine at another truck stop, drinking coffee. Yeah. And I see the same guy. And this happens so many times. And over the years, after 40 years of trucking, yeah, really. After 40 years of trucking, it seemed like everybody I look at, I recognize no matter where I was in the country. It's a small world in the trucking world. For 12 years, I had a regular run. And for 12 years, somebody else with another company had a regular run, because we would cross paths at the same time on the same day. And I would look over and wave at him, and he'd wave. Never met him, and probably never would. But he recognized my truck, and I recognized his truck, and we would see each other twice a week going in opposite directions. For years and years and years. That's the kind of small world trucking was. When I think of trucking, the notion of trucking, I do miss being part of that world. But I do not miss driving. It was a very high-stress job. It was high-stress because I owned the truck, and every dime that came in or went out came out of my pocket. Guilty, yeah, really. Yeah, you're right. And it's the same with Christmas and Easter. Yeah, that's for sure. I don't miss being on the highway, because especially now, man, people are just so angry, all the time angry. You know, I have, I don't know, maybe 3 acres total here, and I really enjoy life from my gate back. And once I leave that gate, man, I carry my gun, I don't trust nobody, I don't make eye contact. It's become a very dangerous and mean world, and I don't know if I ever want to go back and be a part of it again. I'm happy I did what I did with my life, but I'm glad I'm where I'm at now. Know what I'm saying? Getting warm in here. I have an air conditioner that cools this place down real quick, but my electric bill out here is about $50 a month. That's with nothing on. I mean, I have a couple of security lights. Yeah, there's good crazy and bad crazy, yeah. My first wife was bad crazy. She was so crazy that she got remarried again after we split up again, and her second husband committed suicide. And I don't blame him. And the thing about crazy people is they can keep it hidden until it's too late. Until you are ensnared. Boy, you lose them muscles fast if you don't do it every day. My arms are already killing me. That's bad. That's for sure. Yep. And I paid for that mistake for the next 20 years. Well, I had 3 kids from her, so I'm not referring to them as a mistake. Yep. Why do you keep redacting your message? You can't keep taking your message back. The universe has seen it. Many years ago, this all used to be muscle. I used to have some pretty big arms. And then one day I was on my motorcycle at my age now, and I went by some reflective glass, and I had the shirt on that I have now. These arms are just flapping in the breeze, man. And I realized I was old. I had done lost my arms. Hey there, spelling error. Brian, up in freaking Boston, man. Typing are hard. Golly. That's what we got so far. And that's what these are going to look like. Let me turn this off. That's probably better. Got a long way to go though. I'm on 220. I got to go all the way up to 800. Yeah, so I got to either decide whether to bring all this wood in the house or find a means of dehumidifying them, or just using stabilized wood from now on, which adds another 30 to 50, 60 bucks onto the knives. Oh, I got any? Yeah, I got one right here. This is stabilized. This will not swell or absorb water, and this is some of the hackberry that I got from my yard, and I got a bunch more. I don't have it stabilized, but I just cut the rest of the logs up that I've had forever laying out there, and I'm gonna let them hang around another summer. Probably the end of this summer I'll cut them up into knife-sized pieces. Gravity water filter, yeah. You know, you don't have to use stainless steel. You can use a food-grade 5-gallon buckets. Mannheim, no way. Mannheim, boy, I spent some time in Mannheim, and by time, I mean time. That was a bad boy. Yep. Not proud of it, but Mannheim Confinement Facility. I was there. I was back in the 70s. That was a lifetime ago. I was actually stationed in Kaiserslautern and Karlsruhe. I think Karlsruhe is the way Americans would pronounce it. Karlsruhe is probably the German pronunciation. I don't know that, but Coleman. No, the Mannheim confinement facility. I was stationed at Kaiserslautern from Stuttgart. Boy, oh boy. I was in more than one jail over there, I'll tell you. No, not the barracks, the confinement facility. But it was back in the 70s, so I don't know, it may be different now, you know? Things change. I Googled the, I was with the 66th MP Battalion, MP Company, 95th MP Battalion. I wasn't a cop, I was a truck driver, which is why I always got in trouble, because I was stationed with cops and they had nothing to do. So they would hassle the people that weren't cops in their barracks, and I was one of them. And I got in a lot of trouble. Mostly because I did drugs. I'm not blaming it on anybody else. Hey there, Chicka Wolf. Yeah, one of these days I'm going to write a book. Because I'm like that insurance company. I've seen some things. You wouldn't know it by looking at me now, but I have actually skied all over the world. Innsbruck, all over Austria, Switzerland, all over the Alps. This is not a skiing body now, I know that, but I wasn't always a fat guy. I was young and skinny at one time in my life. Skied all over New England. There's not a lot of big mountains in New England, but hey there, Papa Rod. So the next big project I have is the generator shed, whenever the generator gets here and I get my shed. And then my well, I'm going to dig a well. Let me see if I can turn you around, show you basically where. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but down at the bottom of this hill there, on the other side of that fence, a stream out there. It doesn't run all year round, but it's always wet. So below that, there's a lot of water below that. And so I probably won't have to dig down far to get water. I'm not certain, we're all on city sewage around here, so there's no danger of anybody's, raw sewage getting in there. But I wouldn't drink it raw. I'd have to purify it, filter it, purify it. But when I do that, when I have my generator and my well, I have food enough for a long time. And I'll have water, and I will have no worries about what the world may become very soon. Kind of makes you suspicious when every commercial you see is pushing the vaccine, and every YouTube channel that talks about the election gets banished from YouTube. Prepper channels get demonetized. MD Creekmore is a guy I know. He's got a prepper channel, and he's been demonetized, and I think he's been shadow banned because he's not growing like he used to, and he's not getting the views like he used to. So what is it about being prepared that YouTube doesn't like? I don't get it. It's no different than hurricane preparedness. You have extra water, you have extra food, you have a way to light your house. Preparedness is preparedness, whether you're preparing for a hurricane or a tornado or a long-term life-changing event. And I don't understand why they're so against that part of it. But, I used to do a lot of prepping videos, and I don't anymore because, honestly, I depend on this AdSense income. It's an important part of my income. And so I am careful what I say, what I talk about, what I video. And I haven't done many videos lately because I've been taking care of a lot of things around here that YouTube doesn't want on their platform. I don't get it, but I got to play their game if I want this money. And I hate that I have come to depend on it, but it's just a fact of life. About 6 more months, and I will be on full Social Security. Fat Fluffy Bill, I don't remember him. No, I don't remember him, Fat Fluffy Bill. About 6 more months I'll be on full Social Security, and if I wanted to, I could actually go get a little Walmart job, greeter or whatever, assembling bicycles or something. I don't know if I'll ever do that, but I'm not far from being able to. Haven't done a lot of motorcycle riding because it's been either pouring down rain or way too hot. My wife is 67 now, and when you get older, it is a lot harder to deal with heat. And she's already had a mini heart attack while she was in the hospital recovering from having a lung removed, and many other surgeries. So the heat is very, very hard on us and her, and it's just hard on older folks. Your body doesn't cool down as easily when you're old. I don't know why, it just is. So we got to be careful about getting caught out in the sun and being stuck in traffic on a motorcycle. I had to drive down a breakdown lane the other day. Oh yeah, this is my thing. Yeah, I don't plan on stopping YouTube. This is my favorite thing to do, I like making knives. I like riding motorcycles. I like eating. And I like doing videos. Oh, fluffy. Yeah, very fluffy. Well, you probably can't tell, but I'm not as fluffy as I used to be. I've lost about 50 pounds. But when you're this fat, you need to lose a couple hundred before anybody notices. And I'm going in the right direction, even though I seem to have stopped. Yeah, one stubborn, I didn't quite read that. A comment disappeared real quick. The comment, they show up for about 2 or 3 seconds, and if I'm not looking right at the screen, they disappear too quick. Boy, it is a quiet day out here. Last night, the fireworks started. Right behind me is a neighborhood. I'm kind of by myself out here, I could pee anywhere in my yard and nobody will point and laugh. But through these woods that are behind me, there's a neighborhood back there, and man, them people like their fireworks, which freaks my little dogs out. Actually, my biggest dog, Lucy, is she in here? She's pit bull and mountain cur, and you would think she'd be the toughest dog. She's the biggest weenie. When them fireworks start going off, boy, she is frightened. She wants to get up in your lap, and so I spent the night with her cowering in my lap. Probably not gonna ask much for this knife because it's got some flaws. They're not terrible. It doesn't affect the function of the knife. Let me see if I can show you without. Okay, you see the bevel line right here? It is not completely like the bevel line right here. It's off by a little bit. You see how the tip has a nice, the grind line has a nice curve here, and it does not on this side. It's a straight, so I didn't grind it exactly on both sides, which is really hard to do. And sometimes when I make this kind of mistake, what I do is make this a full grind where there's no grind line. Let me see, let me get the light just right. Okay, this is where I grind it from here up. And if I screw up big time, I just grind it all the way up to the spine, and it's called a full grind. And that way they both look completely identical. But this is not terrible. You got to look close to really see that it's off. So because I know that I've made I wouldn't call it a mistake. It's just that I've grinded each side a little differently. I probably won't ask a whole lot for it. Where's my wife? I seen her out here a minute ago. Huh. Hey, Ann. Up for the morning. Okay. Well, I'm glad to see you. Hope you're doing all right. You hadn't been keeping me updated, but I think you would if anything changes. I hear a lawnmower, but it's not my wife. Because I'm looking at the lawnmower. Maybe it's Bev. I don't mow. Hey, Dan. How are you, man? Dan in Colorado. You still living in Colorado, Dan? I would imagine. I don't think you'd leave Colorado. Yep, starting to get warm now. Oh, different Dan. Oh, Dan N. See, I have a friend, Daniel M., and he's in Colorado, so yeah, it looked like an M. Okay. Hey, Rick, how you doing, man? Arkansas Prepper, good to see you. You about have that house done, huh? Rick is building a house up in Arkansas. Hey, Gail. No, I haven't been afraid of that. No, I can't think of anything that I may have fixed that I was afraid of turning on. Sharpest attack. I do remember names and numbers. I don't know why that is. When I was growing up in Connecticut, our number was 203. Our phone number was 203-745-7396. I'm 61, almost 62. Why do I remember that number? I don't know. All right, I'm going to do the spine and move up to 400. This has not been heat treated yet, so basically all the work that I'm doing I have to do all over again. Isn't that something? I can remember almost all the numbers to my high school locker. Okay, Jordan, have a good day, man. Enjoy the fireworks. All right, my goodness. Yeah, this is something that if you don't do it for a couple of weeks, you lose that muscle. I have missed being out here because it's peaceful. And I tell you, man, sometimes you just got to back away from the news. You can get overwhelmed with all the bad stuff going on. The hackings, the way the world is going, our world, that's what I mean, without risking getting banned. Know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. This has been, at no time in my life did I ever expect the world that I grew up in to look like this, like it is now. Yeah, I hear you, Rick. And I'll tell you, for me to come out here and feel at peace and make knives and be happy, I had to stop watching that stuff. The droughts, the fires, yeah, yeah, and people don't know it yet, but the ice storm, snowstorm we had here in Texas. Texas grows an enormous amount of fruit and vegetables. I think it's like a third of the country's fruit and vegetables are grown here, and not happening. All that stuff was killed, and even fruit trees died. You know, we had this last ice storm. It was unprecedented. Never before has anything like that happened here. I lost water. My water froze. I've never had my water froze in all my life. Had pipes burst. Even our town couldn't pump water because their pipes froze. And then when they did unthaw, people were letting their water drip and they ran out of water. So we had no water. It's unbelievable. I was fortunately, if you look at the Texas electric grid, Texas is on their own electric grid, except for the little tiny slice of Texas that I'm in is on the Louisiana grid. Yeah, there's a lot. Oh yeah, and all the tomatoes that come out of California and all the other vegetables that come out of California that they're not allowed to water. Yeah, years ago. Well, I think the only reason I watch now is because it helps you to know how to prepare. And, but if you don't turn it off and back away, geez, it could sure take its toll on your happy. And, you know, when we moved here, we have a pretty I don't make a lot of money, but we have a happy, content, quiet life. Everything's paid for, so we don't have a lot of worries. Financial wise, health wise, we have worries and concerns. But I can imagine being a young person having to rely on somebody else. Ignorance is bliss. Yeah, you got that right. Being a young person, having somebody whose income you depended on that had to have a job. I have a young friend, Pat. He has a family and a house note and, bills. And his job, he sells tools, and it is up and down and up and down, and mostly oil field related tools. So now that we have this hair sniffer in office, they hate carbonate, what is it? Hydrocarbons? They hate dinosaur, fossil fuel. Although I don't think it's fossils myself, but that's another story. So they're making it harder and harder for the oil and gas industry to drill. And all the little peripheral companies that support the oil and gas industry are suffering because of it. And my friend Pat, who sells tools to the oil and gas industry mostly, he's suffering some. So I feel sorry for people who are still dependent on the outside world for their income, jobs. And as our government goes, so goes jobs. Look how good we had it when 45 was in. There was record-breaking employment. Anybody who wanted to work could work. There was record-breaking home ownership. And how could people vote that? Why would people vote that away? Look what's happening now. No jobs. That's not true. There are jobs, but what are they doing? They're paying people not to go to work. And simple math. If you make $900 a week staying home or $600 a week going to work, what are you going to do? So I believe there is a concerted effort. I think they know what they're doing, and I do believe they want to crash this economy. That's my belief. They want to crash this economy, and they want to come back promising you a better life, only you have to give up some control. And that's what they want, is more power. That's just like taxes. When they pass a tax and then they say, well, it's just a temporary tax until we achieve this. Never happens. You never get that back. Energy independent, for sure. Yep. Yeah, we were an exporter. Energy independent, and I think we were the world's largest exporter at that time. And I live right over something called the Haynesville Shale, which is the largest gas, they call that a play. 50-year mortgages, yeah. I live right over the largest gas play in the world, the Haynesville Shale. There's others. I think there's an Eagle Ford Shale down South Texas. There's the Permian Basin out in Odessa, Texas. And there's just no reason for us to have to buy anything from any other countries, because we've got more than enough to last for, 60, 70, 80 years to provide us with gas and oil. But they don't want to pull it out of the ground. And get this, the Keystone Pipeline that was going to move oil from Canada in here. All right, Ann, take care. Love you too. Yeah, that's same thing here. The gambling boats. They had everybody voting for the gambling boats, promising, it's going to pay for the schools. Gas and what? Overall. I think I just got a YouTube comment. That wasn't a live stream comment. I don't want to pick you up because you rolled in something and you stink like fox poop. So I'm not picking you up until I give you a bath. In Louisiana, they passed the gambling boat casinos, right? And they promised it was going to take care of schools and law enforcement. And schools and law enforcement, it's going to fix the roads. Where is that money going? Because it ain't fixing the roads, it ain't going to law enforcement, and it ain't helping the schools out one bit. And that's just how politics works. They'll pass a tax and say it's only temporary, and it's not. So you get slowly taxed to death, even here in Texas. Honestly, I don't think I would have moved to Texas if I had done a little bit of research on property taxes. It's like they're punishing you for owning a home here in Texas. They don't have a state income tax. Our earth sweats oil, yeah. They don't have a state income tax, so the way they run their economy is off the backs of people who have managed to buy a home, which is wrong. Texas has the sixth highest property tax rate in all of the country. That's pretty sad. Who'd have thought Texas would be like that? Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, California, and Illinois have exorbitant, crazy amounts of property tax. And the people who don't own their homes, they get to send their kids to school and drive on the roads that the property owners pay for, and take advantage of all the other things that property taxes pay for, and they don't have to put into it, you know. And I just don't get how they got to this point in Texas. Texas used to be the epitome of freedom. Hey, Mike. Yeah, property taxes are high up there. But on a lighter note, you've got one of the best mayors ever, Lightfoot. Yeah, that's the same thing. Same thing with Louisiana. They voted the lottery in, and it would your taxes will go down, and never happened. And it's just one tax after another. And the lottery is basically a stupid tax. Hey, Mr. Fatty. In Georgia, yeah. Well, you know, I have a mobile home. What are the odds that a mobile home, Minneapolis Oak guy, yeah. Yeah, I'm probably not going to go much longer. I've been at it a little over an hour. I forgot what I was saying. Huh. Yeah, that's me. I have all the other things that you would need to keep your food and water and all that. I don't need any more. The ammo shortage hasn't affected me. I told my wife, if I'm ever in a position where I need to shoot all the ammo I have, we're gonna be dead 100 times over. Because I got plenty of guns, plenty of ammo. I haven't needed any of that in years. I did buy some 22. I do think that at some point, 22 ammunition will probably be like gold. I hope not. But you know, it's just like having a fire extinguisher. You hope you never have a fire, but if you have a fire, you're prepared. And that's the way I look at having some food and all the other stuff that goes along with prepping. Is you hope you never have to rely on it, but it's no different than having homeowners insurance. It's just a wise thing to do, I think. Yeah. Well, I got one more run. I want 20 more cases of water, because I do believe that if anything happens like tomorrow and I can't get any more water from the city, I have all the stuff I need to dig my well. I really want to wait till the end of August before I dig it. Yeah, that's right. I want to wait till the end of August before I dig my well, because that is the driest, the hottest part of the year. And if I hit water at the end of August, I'll have water all year round. That's my thinking. And, you know, when I dug my last well, I did dig it. It was the end of August, and I hit water at 8 feet in August. That's something for Louisiana. And I had water down all the way down to 20 foot. And I never ran out of water in that well, not once. And I did drink it a time or two straight from the well. That's not something I would recommend, but it looked so clear and so good, I just couldn't imagine that water being bad, although the bad stuff you can't see. But I did drink it just to see. I knew I was going to be home for a week or two, so if I got sick, you know, I'd be close to the porcelain thing. I don't know what my water level is now, Rick. I haven't dug a well here. I'm in Texas now. The one in Louisiana is still pumping, though, because I talked to the guy who bought my house, and it's still pumping. Yeah, 5%. Yeah, they're not gonna. Yeah, they never give you, they never untax you, and it's just like power and authority. When the government gets power and authority, they never give it back to you, and that is why the NRA and Second Amendment believers like myself don't want to give an inch, because they keep crying about common sense gun laws. Well, there's nothing but common sense gun laws right now. And you don't need any more common sense gun laws. You need to enforce the gun laws that exist. There's no honest people committing crimes with their guns. And they figure, I don't know how they convince themselves that if they pass more laws to affect honest people, somehow that's going to affect the criminals. Hey, Trevor. 140 feet, yeah. Yeah, well, that's, a deep well. I'm talking about a shallow well here. I don't think different areas like the Rockies or up in the mountains of northern Georgia, I don't think you'd have to be very lucky to find a place where there was shallow water. But here where I live, in the area I live, it's pretty common. You can hit water pretty low, like 8 or 10, 12 foot. And the method I use, which is just a fence post auger, you can go down 24 foot if you're young and healthy. I think I was 55 when I dug my well, and I was at my limit for pulling up 20 foot of pipe with mud in the end of it, Now, I think I'm going to string some chain. I got a couple of trees down in the hollow. I got trees, and I'm going to string chain across these two trees, put a pulley in the middle of it, and that's going to help me pull the auger up out of the ground, because I don't think I got the strength in me, or the back. My arms haven't lost a lot of muscle, but boy, I have messed up my back something terrible. I've got 3 herniated discs in my neck and 2 in my lower back, and there's just no way I could lift that much weight continuously. So I'm gonna have to figure out another way to do it where I pull down a rope and pull up on the pipe. And I have a friend that may help me too. So, but I'll figure it out when I get to it. Right now, my next project, big project, expensive project, is going to be a generator. I've already spent almost $1,100 on that. The generator shed, that's $400. I haven't bought it yet. The fan, which I have, that was like $70 or $80. It's got louvers on it. When you turn it on, it opens up. Yeah, and that's the thing about digging a well. There's no guarantee you're going to hit water, which is why I use an auger instead of a sand point. They have these sand point wells that you drive in the ground. Well, you don't hit water. You can't get that thing up out of the ground. I mean, there may be a way, but I don't know of a way. If you got that thing hammered down to the ground 16, 20 foot, I don't think you're going to get it back out. If you drill a well with a fence post auger, you can drill a well somewhere else if you don't hit water. So you're only out the $70, $80 for the fence post auger, and not the $150 for a sandpoint well that you got to start all over with more pipe and more connections and a new sandpoint well. It's a sandpoint is what it's called and you drive it in the ground. And that it really is the easiest method, but the thing is, if you don't hit water, you're sunk. And anyway, well, I'm kind of running out of things to talk about. My wife is out there mowing the lawn, so I guess I better get out there and do something productive. So I forget how to turn this thing off. Okay, here we are. Well, I enjoyed the chat, and thanks for showing up. And we'll do this again, converting. Oh, it's a dual fuel. Yeah. Yeah, you do. Same setup. Yeah, it's a dual fuel, and I am going to run a 220 50 amp line right into the house. Mine is propane, yeah. Yeah. All right. Have a good one, y'all. Take care. Thanks for chatting with me.